Hello and welcome. This is Ruth and I'm back with another one of Tonic's beautiful new Christmas collections, and this one is called the Timeless Tidings, and it's a really traditional kind of collection, and you can see from the colours there it's lovely and warm and natural and just the kind of thing I really love. You can have a little look down below in the description of the video, and I'll put a link to the other collections that I've already made videos with if you want to have a little look at those as well. First of all, we'll have a very quick look through the 200 GSM 18 sheets of luxury card Timeless Tidings double-sided designs, and these are, as I said, 12 by 12. They're acid and lignin free, 28 tags and stamps. That's in here, and again those work with these beautiful little tag and stamp die set dies that have just been launched with Tonic as well. Really beautiful, but you'll find the colours of these are really gorgeous too. So there's 2 each of 9 double-sided designs, and I've already had a look through this. I'm just going to set this aside, but look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Now there's a little die set in the collection as well, and I think the die would fit over that, sort of cut that out too. The other sides are really beautiful. I love that. Let's just have a quick look. That has probably got to be my favourite. Well, okay, this is my favourite now. This is going to happen, but we see we've got this one for the sort of UK and European side, and then the Cardinal on the other side there for the USA folks. And or if you're like me and you just like birds, you're going to love both of those. These berries and things are beautiful with that plaid on the back for that tartan, and then gorgeous dies of the stags here. That it's actually, I said dies because I'm thinking of putting a little die around that and cutting it out. That would be really gorgeous, or even just a little square. Look at that. It's kind of like craft paper with a little stripe down through it. And then this beautiful little, it looks like a laurel wreath, but it's got little berries on it too. And a beautiful red check on the back. More berries, green with craft spots. And then this is so beautiful, but I think that would be lovely fussy cut as well. So that with that beautiful little red and craft pattern on the back. And I don't think we get enough roses at Christmas, so that's a kind of a Christmas rose, and I love that big pattern. So you've got your roses, and then you've got these beautiful leaves on the back of it. Really beautiful, because there's holly on the back there, and if you want to sort of use both sides of that together, it's absolutely stunning. But anyhow, this paper, it's actually 200 GSM, so it's more of a card really than a paper. You can add glitter and glue and ink and all sorts of things to it. Crystal drops and all of that work really well on that. Now there is also an 8x8 paper pad as well, so we're going to have a quick look here. This one actually has 36 sheets, so there's loads and loads. Look how much paper is in there. 36 sheets there of 8x8, and that's 200 GSM as well. So it's 3 each of 9 double-sided designs, but there's also 3 each of luxurious gold foil designs. So some of these patterns are similar to the 12x12 but shrunk down, and look at that. The foiling is absolutely beautiful, and again those work with these. So let's have a look. Now there's 3 of each, so I don't need to go through them all in detail like that. I've already, well, I have to admit to not being able to help myself, but I went straight in there and started to cut some of these up because I wanted to use them. So look at that. So these are, I thought there was maybe a couple of different patterns, but they seem to be similar or the same as the big sheet in the 12x12. I was sure I'd spotted something that was different, but maybe not. You'll see as you go through this anyway. I know what it was. Okay, so that's up to there, and then these are the foiled ones. And if you're like me and you love that, you're going to be really happy whenever you come to this one, because this is the beautiful Christmas tree one with the foiled pattern on the front, the gorgeous little gold bit on there, and when you turn it over you've got more of this, and I couldn't get enough of that, so that made me very happy. Then we've got this beautiful bauble one, which is similar to the baubles in the ordinary uncoated one, and this has gorgeous foiling on it. It's catching the light there too, and that beautiful red and craft on the back, and look at that for a shine. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Okay, so after that then we've got, we'll just get back down here. These are 4 sheets of luxury 200 GSM foiled toppers. So you just pop these out. It's 2 designs. So this will be one, you'll get 2 of each of these. This could go on envelopes or cards, and then you've got peace and joy. Gorgeous thing. Look at that. So if at Christmas, when you just want to make quick cards, how beautiful would that look, just added onto a card, and you don't even need much else on it. But you pop these out and they come out really, really cleanly as well, which is really good. Beautiful borders and some sentiments here too. So we've got joyful celebrations, Christmas delight, season's greetings, peace and joy, season's greetings, Christmas delight, and season's greeting again there. So joyful celebrations down this one. Something there for everybody, I think. And foil fusion again, and we've had this in the other collections that I've looked at so far. And the foil fusion works with the beautiful foils that Tonic released just a short time ago. I'm not sure I'm lifting the right colour out, but that one might not just go with this collection, but we've got all sorts of things there. That would be beautiful with it, wouldn't it? You rub these off and then you press the foil on top and you get beautiful foiled sentiments or these toppers as well. And then you can die cut them if you want. I think, let me see, I'm almost sure there's something there that die cuts. I think that bow does. Yeah, it does. So, we'll come back to the dies in a moment, but look at those beautiful stamps. So we've got 20 stamps there, and that stamp gets cut out by the die as well, if you like. And then you've got pine cones and lots of foliage, and then sending you peace and joy, season's greetings, wishing you festive fun, joyful celebrations, and Christmas delights. So that's a really fantastic big stamp set there. This is a beautiful set of 4 craft stencils, and these all work together to give you a beautiful background. You can just about see it in the background there. It's got pine cones and foliage, and you could layer that up. So hopefully I'll get a chance to have a little look at that. And then we have 2 beautiful 3D embossing folders. There's actually 3 in the set, but I have missed out getting one of them. I'll have it very soon. It's absolutely gorgeous too, so I will come back and show you that. Anyhow, this one has all sort of sentiments across it, and this one has some foliage. You could emboss those in foiled card or something like that, or mirror card, satin card, and it's absolutely beautiful. So last but not least, we're going to have a look at the die set, and there are, let's see, 16 different dies in there, and they're quite big. So we've got an inner little bow here, that's this one, and then this one cuts out the background for it, and then there's lots and lots of foliage and a layered up pine cone and a beautiful poinsettia there as well. And these, I think these possibly fit over some of the other things in the set, so I'll have a little look at that. I think, let me just see before I go any further. Yeah, those fit over some of these. So now I am just going to set this aside and have a little look at what I can do with it, but I don't think they'll be too difficult to make something really, really beautiful. So if you want to see the other collections, you can have a look down below. If you want to see some more that are following after this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll be kept up to date with all of that. And my affiliate links for everything I use will be down below in the description as well. I'm rushing a bit now, but I'm going to take my time when I start to make the cards. Well, you can see I've gone ahead a little bit because this is so easy, and it's actually very, very quick as well. I've cut out the robin. That is just beautiful, isn't it? I've fussy cut that out from one of the 8x8 paper sheets, and you can see on the other side it still leaves you plenty of room to do the same thing with the cardinal bird if you want to do that as well. And then I have glued it directly onto a piece of acetate, and you can see on the back there. I've got a 6x6 card here, and I've taken 2 square pardon me 2 square dies, and I've made a little frame with gold, and then I've glued the acetate straight onto the back of the gold card, and I have put some 3D foam pads really, really tightly the whole way around there, and you know that is now going to become a shaker card. So I've taken this out of the package and run it across there to make sure that none of the things that I put inside stick to the edges of the foam tape there as well. But I just couldn't get enough of this, so I had to cut that out to back it onto, and that will go directly on there. Well, look, it actually would be quite nice on there too, but I do love that. So that is going to go on there, and before I put this on, I'm going to sprinkle some of these. Now this is just a mixture. You might have some sequins yourself, and you could certainly go ahead and do that. Either way, you can put them straight into here and put this part over, which is probably what I'll do, and then add it straight onto the card. That was a happy kind of accident. I did intend those wooden boards to go upright, but they're actually really, really nice that way. And I think you need to add something really, really sparkly like I have in behind there, just to stand out a bit on top of the wood. Also, I've added some morning dew crystal drops, and I hope you can see that. I've added it onto the little robin's eye there, and then onto these berries, and I left that for a little while before I came back to it there, because I wanted it to be properly dry. It looks kind of cloudy when it's wet, and then I wanted to be able to work with it after that, so I didn't want to be sort of making it on on the card as I was showing it to you. Now I'm going to go ahead and just glue this directly onto the card base, and then I'm going to add some more elements onto it. I use these poinsettia dies from the collection, and I actually use them from the paper pad, cut them out from the paper pad, so there's 3 of them there. The other one is here, and I think that way you know exactly that it's going to match, because it's the same tones as what you've already got on there. So I've turned them over and just given them a little shape with an embossing tool, all 3 of them. Press that in the middle, and then just pop one on top of the other and layer them up like that, and then they're going to go right on beside that little bird, just in below them actually, just like that, and they're going to go on right there. Now there's little what are they, probably little berries there, and I've actually die cut those from glitter card. Whoops, and you can see I've got one here, and we're going to add that right into the center. I know it's not the center of this flower, but it does work with that as well, and the glitter card just looks really lovely on that, and that's going in there. I've taken this one, this little die, and I've cut that out again from the paper in the pad, and I've actually got 3 of these. Don't know where I've put the other 2, but we'll find them in a moment or two, and those are going to go in there. Now I'm only going to glue the tip of it in so that I can curl it up and give a little bit of dimension as well, because I think that's always nice. That's going in there, and then I can just move that up. Now I'll find the other 2 and I'll glue them on. Isn't that really, really lovely? Can you see all the dimension on that? And it's really nice, I think anyway, just to leave those turned up like that. Anyway, I had thought of putting a sentiment in this, but I actually think it's beautiful just the way it is. And when you see all these glittery bits up there, that looks really full, but when that's down at the bottom, I thought it just needed a little bit extra up there. So on the other side of the page where I cut the robin off, I've just gone ahead and cut this little piece off here, and that just fits it perfectly into that corner, and it means that whenever all this is down at the bottom, you've got some extra detail up there as well. That's that card finished now. I just added another one of these little leaves or little fronds on here, and one on up here, and I've added the glossy, it's actually morning dew crystal drops onto that too. So there you are. Hopefully you like that one, and I'll get on to making something else. I think this kind of full collection, you can make loads and loads of really easy quick cards if you need to do for batch making. So I'll make another simple one, and then we'll have another look. I used the 2 embossing folders that I've got, and I used one on satin effect card and one on mirror card there, and it's really, really gorgeous. Somehow it just gives that really lovely dimension, a bit more oomph whenever you see it on a sort of satin or mirror card finish. Just everything reflects differently, and it's really, really beautiful. I've trimmed this one down, and I'm just going to put it on some cherry red card here. That is spring silver card, and then I'm going to put it on top of this one, and then that's going straight onto the card front. Now I have actually attached that with double-sided tape. I've used this because if you just use glue on that, it sometimes just leaves a little ripple on there, so I'm going to attach that. This is a really, really quick card. Now I'm just going to attach that directly onto the front of a 5x7 card, and there you are. That's cherry red, as I said, in behind that, and it just makes that pop just a little bit. I've taken another little piece of card that goes right across the front there, and that is, I'll just measure this, that is 3.5 centimeters deep, and I'm going to attach that right across the center there. And then I've taken a little square of cherry. It's not actually a square, I think it's 8 by 8.5. It's actually 8.5 centimeters by 8, yeah. And then I'm going to pop that right directly on top. Now normally when I'm putting something across here, I would put a little sentiment, or a little strip, sorry, not a sentiment, right across that. But because the sentiment is on that this time, I'm going to put the topper on there, put this on here, and then the topper will go right across here. And that means it sort of goes right across the top of these bits at the side as well, but it also goes across there. Now that's really, really quick and easy. So if you wanted to add something more to that card, you could pop this up on 3D foam pads like I'm going to do here. If you want it just plain and simple, just glue it down the way it is, but I'm going to pop it up on 3D foam pads, and then I can add some extra foliage in if I like as well. So I've cut out this big piece of foliage here, and I'm just going to nip that into 3 and then glue it right in there. 1. My next card then is a 6x6, and I'm using it as a top fold, and it's, well, I've actually cut it to 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters just because it was easier for me to work in centimeters to divide this into 3. So I've cut it off at 5 there, so I've got another 5 centimeter strip here, and I know it's a bit corny to be using the two together, but it's just more simple to cut that and divide it into 3. Anyhow, I have taken out the center 5 centimeters, and I've kept the bottom one, and I've also cut a piece of acetate to go right across there, and it's obviously then going to be 5 centimeters plus an overhang of probably about 0.5 centimeter on each side there. And I've already attached this one on with double-sided tape, and I've put double-sided tape along here too. So now I'm going to peel that back and add on the other piece, and I can line that up with the bottom of the card there and just make sure it's right even right across there, and then everything will be fine. There we are. So I've got a top fold card now with acetate in the center of it. Now I absolutely loved that bird, so I wanted to make a card with that as well, and I've gone ahead because I was getting some work done in the house and there's been a lot of noise going on, so I had to make some bits and pieces and have them ready. So I have used this beautiful die set here, and it's called the Fancy Floral Layering and Stencil Die Set. And I took, let me see, this die here and this one. And I've cut this one with gold card, and I have cut this one around the beautiful Cardinal there. And then I've used Morning Dew crystal drops right on top of the eye. And I thought that wasn't dark enough, so I did use a black alcohol marker just on top of that again to give it just that little bit of a pop. And then I have used Ruby Slippers glitter drops on top of the berries, and they've been there since yesterday, so they're well dried, and I can go ahead and use this. And I want to layer this directly on top of this, and then I'm going to attach it to the card. So I don't want it to have any glue or anything visible from the underside there, so I'm just going to remember to just add the glue at the top on the back here and the bottom, and then put it on there. That way I don't have messy glue sort of visible on the inside there through the acetate. Now I'm actually going to add some card along here. I've already gone ahead and got lots of this ready, so I call this card, it is actually paper I suppose, but it's so thick, it's really, really lovely. That's from the paper pad, and either of those would be really nice, but I have taken strips here and I've cut them to 1/2 centimetre smaller on each dimension there. So if that's 5 by 15 this way, I've cut this to 4.5 by 14.5, and that is really, really lovely, and it just shows that bird off really beautifully there as well. Now I'm just deciding, as I am actually attaching this, I think I'm going to attach that bird and that panel on with 3D foam pads as well. The same principle sort of holds, because I just want to make sure that I'm going to have it sitting up and no 3D foam pads on there so that they won't be visible. But isn't that really, really lovely there? Now I want to keep the pads in just a little bit from the outside as well, because I am going to add some foliage and bits and pieces there too. So I'll go ahead and do that and make sure that none of this is visible. Again, there was a lot of noise in my kitchen, so I had to go ahead and just do this off camera and have it ready for coming back whenever things were a bit quieter. So this is one of the lovely dies from the recent Keepsake, Once Upon a Time Keepsake die set, and I have cut that out in white card, and then I just sprayed onto it with these two sparkle sprays, and you could use anything that you think from your set that would match in with the colours of the card there. So this one is actually, let's see, Pearled Blush, and this one is Wispy Willow. Two really, really beautiful colours. I let them dry just a little bit, and then I dabbed them with the tissue just to get that kind of mottled but spread across the card look. And then I oversprayed that with just cheap hairspray, and that gave it a really good fixative. And you can see there then that I've come in from both ends, and I have left a little 1 centimetre gap in the middle. I think I'll just measure this and let you see. I think I came in 7 centimeters. Yeah, 7 centimeters from each end and scored down there, and that made me a kind of a little book. So there was a little overspray or whatever, but it didn't really matter because I had cut out another one of these in some patterned paper, and I have cut it there. I've got one ready, and I trimmed that off just slightly smaller than the inside. I left a little gap, and I'm gluing it directly on here. And then I've put a little strip of it's actually the other side of this, just down the centre on the spine there, and this makes the sort of outside cover of a lovely little book. Just make sure you line those edges up really, really well on the outside, and it's good to go. You can fold it over and just check on the other side as well. There we are. Now I've gone with a piece of white card, and this is let's see, this is 9 centimeters long, and it's the full width of an A4 sheet of card, and I have scored that at every 6 centimeters. So this last one is slightly smaller, but we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to put it into the book just like that and glue this one directly onto that inside cover there. So you can use glue, double-sided tape, or just whatever you want, just so long as you've got something that's going to hold it really tightly in there. Take that over, set it down, and then just make sure you have it lined up so that it doesn't show over the other edge of those two pieces there. And then there's your little book, and that will just close over like that. So now I've taken some ribbon, and I have cut quite a long length of ribbon, and I'm just folding it in half so that I know exactly where I want that to go, and I'll pop the little book just inside here. Now that's really just to give me placement so that I kind of know that I've got half of that on either side, but I might even just trim that afterwards anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So now I've gone ahead and I have die cut this beautiful little shape. I'll have to put I'm not actually too sure, I can't remember the name of that one just offhand, so I'll put that up on screen, and I've cut that out in white just to give an interesting kind of background to this, and I'm going to just glue that right on there. Now you won't actually see an awful lot of that, but you'll see enough of it just to make a difference. There we are. And then now I've used the tag dies that I showed you earlier. That's these ones, and I've cut out some of the shapes here. So one of them in the tartan paper, that's sort of red, and then this one on here. I'll actually just use this side of it. When I've got this piece glued on, then might need to add a little bit of extra glue on there. It might take just a little bit extra because of the sort of finish that's on that piece below there. I'll set something on it in a moment or two. So now I want to bring the ribbon across the center of the card. I keep calling this a card. Just bring that across there, and you can put a little bit of glue on in behind it if you like, or it won't really matter because it is going to get held down properly in place once I put this piece on. So we'll glue this down, and all of that will hold in place then. I'm just going to place that one on top, and then you can see I've gone to the 8x8 paper pad, and I've used a hole punch. So I've cut out that beautiful stag for the center here, and again I'm just going to go ahead and glue that directly on there. It looks a little bit sort of off center at the minute because that's too low, but that's going to be fine because now I've got my big bow, and that's going to go on there, and it means that it's covering up that hole because now we're not using this as a tag at all. But there you are. That's just how that's going to look. Now moving over to the back of this, I can just turn this around here, and then all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on the other side of that, and then I've taken another little one of these that I've cut out with a hole punch, and I'm going to put that directly on there, and then I can just tie a bow on that. Well, that's me finished for now, but you know that I'll definitely be back for more because I've still to get my other embossing folder, and I haven't even used the stencils yet, and they do look really, really lovely. But you can check those out in a later video because I'll definitely be back with that. Do you like these collections? You can let me know. I've done the Candy Cane Christmas and this one, and then the A Very Festive Fair as well. That was beautiful. And I've got another one coming very soon. So I hope you enjoy all of those. I think it's just fantastic the way all of the different bits and pieces all go together, and it just takes out all that wondering and looking around to see what's all going to match each other. So we've got embossing folders, everything that's all going together there, and they look really, really beautiful. And if, like me, you love birds and traditional colours, you're definitely going to love this one. Leave me a little comment down below and let me know what you like about them, and hopefully you'll buy this collection and enjoy it as much as I have as well. I really, really love those birds. Anyhow, there's the little book as well. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to see more, please do that. That would really help my channel along too, and that would be really, really good if you hit the notification bell, because that way, well, subscription's free for a start, but when you hit the notification bell, then you'll be notified every time a new video comes up. And if you enjoy them, well, what's not to like about that? My affiliate links for everything that I've used will be down below in the description as well, and maybe some other bits and pieces of information that you want to check out too. So thank you very, very much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.